So today we are going to be doing a project inside of Scratch that is holiday themed. Got quite a few versions of it going already. So bear with me, I'm going to go a little quickly here. Feel free to pause this video if you're using it with your students along the way. Step one is we're going to create a background and get rid of our sprite. We'll get rid of our cat and we're going to select a background. I'd like to select the living room because we are going to put a Christmas tree in here. But you could use something like the outdoor snow, that would work as well. And do a living room. And then I'm going to hit the paintbrush because we need to add a tree. And it's important that we add our tree as a background object, not as a sprite here. So there's two ways to add a tree here. I think the easiest one is to just draw it. So I'm going to select my scribble tool. And I'm going to pick a fatter line for the bottom here. So that one right there. And then I'm going to pick a green. So maybe that green right there. All right, and then I'm just going to draw the outline of my tree. It's important that we make this a object where all of the lines touch. So obviously you can do any sort of shape. Very important that these touch at the top so that we can go to our paint bucket and fill the tree in. Another way to build the tree, let me go back and show you, would be with triangles. So this is a little bit more touchy. And you do one there, because you have to touch in the right spot to get the triangles to line up. You know, that one didn't line up perfectly. So touch like outside the triangle and then drag. That one's not bad, and then we'll do one more, okay? That one wasn't very good. Now you see why this is like a little bit touchy. When you get it right though, this one looks pretty good. And then you can fill these in just like you do the other tree. There we go. Oh, one right up there I missed. Okay, and then for the trunk, you can do that a variety of ways. Simplest is probably just to draw the trunk right on the bottom. There you go. For ornaments for the tree, what I was doing is just doing the little circle and then the smallest line and then picking a color and then just tapping. And that can create some ornaments on your tree. You can also do the triangle, works really well, with different colors. So I'll just do a few here. Your students can make their tree a little bit more intricate if they'd like. Let's do one more color, maybe some blue. Okay. And we're all set. And check mark when you're done. Okay, so now we have our living room with a Christmas tree. Next thing we need to do is add some presents. So we're going to add these as sprites. And I've already drew a bunch, but I'm going to show you to draw them from scratch. So you just pick a blank one and then a paintbrush. And now I'm going to start with a square. I'm going to draw a square. And then I'm going to fill it in. And then I am going to do the same thing I did with my tree for decoration. So a circle and then maybe some pink. And I'm going to just tap on the inside. This is like my wrapping paper for my present. You know, they can do it as intricately as they want. Then I want some ribbon. So I'm going to do my scribbly line and a slightly thicker line, and let's do some ribbon. How about some pink ribbon? And I'm just going to draw a crisscross on the box, and then maybe a bow on the top. Okay, pretty good. All right, so that's my present. Now we're going to need 4 presents for this game, so we're going to duplicate and slightly modify these presents. So the way to do that is just create a new sprite, and then pick your present that you just selected, and then the paintbrush. And then all you need to do is grab your paint bucket, change the color. So make this one an orange one. And we do this 2 more times. Orange present, paintbrush, new color, light blue, new present. New present, paintbrush, and how about yellow? Okay, all right. So now we got 4 presents. Now these are too big, so we need to make them smaller. So now what we're going to do is for each present, we're going to drag in our shrink button, and we are going to tap it probably 3 times would work. In this case, depends on what your presents were to start with. 1, 2, 3. And then next one, 1, 2, 3. And then the next one, 1, 2, 3. The size is appropriate when you can stack them on this left side of your screen, and they cannot be touching each other or it will ruin the game. And there should be a little bit of room on the bottom because we need to put Santa down there. So we're all good with that. You can delete these codes if you wish, but as long as they're not in the middle of another code string, this should be fine. Okay, now Santa. So there is no Santa sprite. So you have to create a Santa. Here's how we're going to create a Santa. First of all, you need to print a Santa out. So go to your computer and print out a Santa. You can also use a Grinch if you want to make the game a little more interesting. We're going to pick a blank sprite and hit our paintbrush. And now what we're going to do is with a small line, a circle, and the color white, we are going to draw, for my Santa, a slight oval egg shape, just like that. And then we're going to hit our camera, and we are going to tap in the middle of it. And flip our camera around. And then I've already got my Santa printed out, so I'm just going to put this on top of my Santa and take a picture. And now I have a Santa sprite. So Santa's a little bit too big. I'm going to drag him down here, and we're going to shrink him just like we did our presents. 1, 2. Okay, perfect. All right. So now we have our sprites and we have our move commands. Probably could fit one more present in there if you want to do 5, but I'm just going to do 4. And now we're going to start laying down some code. So first thing we're going to do is use some movement codes for our presents. So we're going to start with a green flag, and the goal is to make our presents go back and forth in a random way, left and right, and relatively quickly. So we're going to do a green flag, and then a speed code. I'm going to make my presents go quickly. And then I'm going to put in 2 sets of right and left. You could just do 1, but 2 sets creates a more random pattern. And then I'm going to put a forever loop on the end. And what you should do is maybe make these numbers no smaller than 5 and no larger than 20. So 14 and 9 or something like that. Okay. Now I am going to take this code and I am going to duplicate it into all of my GIFs. So I'll do it, drag it up to my blue present, my light blue present, and my yellow present. And now I have to modify the others. I can't have the same numbers. So I'll go in and I will change these to something different on each one and keep doing that. The rest of them, 12, 18, 11, 6, and then last one, 13, 14, 5, and 9 still is fine. Okay. All right. So to test this, you hit your green flag, and if those presents start going in different patterns, you're good to go. All right. Looking pretty good to me. All right. Let me stop it and bring it back. Okay. Now your Santa. We are going to make our Santa move right and left and jump. So with a green flag and a medium speed code, we are going to have Santa go. The medium speed code is actually redundant, so we don't really need that. But anyway, 99 and forever loop. So when I hit the green flag, Santa is now traveling at a constant speed all the way across my screen forever and ever and ever. Okay? Let's stop it, bring it back. Now, I want Santa to jump when I tap him. So we are going to do a tap code for Santa. And when we tap that code, I want Santa to quickly, because it's going to be a fast jump, quickly jump up. And we got to measure how high we need him to be. So he's at 2 right now. Let's bring him up to, let's say 13. Should get him all the way to the top of the screen. So we're going to have him jump by 9. Oh, no, 11. Sorry, my bad. Okay, 11. And then after he jumps, we are going to return him back to a medium speed. And the reason we want to do that is because if we don't do that, he will change his speed to fast and then continue to go fast across the screen. So if we do this properly and I tap Santa, he should jump. You getting up to the top? Let's change that slightly higher. Let's make that 12. Okay, that's better. Perfect. Okay, now put everything back. Now the goal is to make the presents disappear whenever Santa catches one of them in his bag. So we're going to go back to the presents code. And in the presents code, we are going to say, when you touch another sprite, that sprite will always be Santa, we want you to disappear. And we can drag that code into all 4 presents. And now, if we did this properly, and we tap. I missed it. Got 2 of them. Got one more. Oh, come on. You kidding me here? This is appropriately difficult, this one. All right, got it. Okay. All right, so this is the base layer. This is, if you wanted to stop here, there's no reason you can't. But let's think about now ways, if you wanted to do more for a slightly older and more experienced age group, how you might make this even more challenging for them. So what kind of variables can we add that would make this more challenging? And one variable we can add is to make our presents slightly smaller, our Santa slightly smaller, and or maybe some of the presents smaller. So maybe we could take the top one. Maybe we're going to take this one and make it just a little bit smaller, or maybe a lot smaller. And then we'll take the orange one, and maybe we'll make the orange one just a little bit smaller. There we go. So now those top 2 ones are a little bit more difficult than the ones below. Okay, a couple more things you could do to make this a little bit more challenging other than shrinking the size of the presents would be to add another present. So let's add a 5th present. So same process, new sprite, pick your last present, paint it, and pick a new color. Haven't done green yet. So now we have a green present, and we need to shrink that present down. 1, 2, 3, and throw it right at the bottom. Now we got 5 presents. We can just drag in the code from one of our other presents, and then change some of these variables. And 8. Okay. We also need the disappear code. So when you touch, disappear. Okay, now we got 5 presents going on here, which makes it even more challenging. Okay, 5 to grab. We can actually, in order to make it more difficult, we can take our Santa and make him disappear from time. We can't make the presents disappear as they travel because then they get stuck in a loop and they reappear even after you catch them, and that ruins the purpose of the game. But if we can do that with Santa, right? So what we can do is we can take Santa, and somewhere in here, instead of doing 99, we could maybe change this to like 20, let's do 28 or something. And then we'll make Santa disappear every 28 steps or so. And then we'll have him go like another, I don't know, let's say 8 steps, and then reappear again and do that forever in a loop. So what'll happen here is Santa will be moving along, and he'll probably get past the screen, and you go to tap him. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is, right? So it makes it a little bit more difficult for you to figure out where Santa went. So you can play with that. That might be one way to make this slightly more challenging to grab those presents. Another thing you could do is make Santa go faster the whole time, right? We could change his speed along the way. So we'll change the speed code. So maybe right after he appears again, or maybe right there. Let's see. Oh, that's not going to work. Let's put another movement code in then. So we're going to have him disappear and then go fast. And then maybe after he reappears, 14. So now he's going to go at a moderate speed, disappear. And while he's disappeared, he's going further. So now he's going faster, and now he's going to slow down. So this makes it a little bit tougher to grab Santa. A couple other things you could do to make it a little bit more interesting is you can add in some sound effects. So we can attach these to presents or to Santa. But what we can do is maybe when Santa touches another sprite, we can have Santa say, ho, 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 or something like that. Ready? Ho, ho, ho! So now, as we... Ho, ho, ho! There we go. Ah! Ho, ho, ho! There he goes. Disappeared. Ah, he's going too fast. Okay, so I think we've kind of succeeded here in making this a little bit more challenging. So there's just some extra bits that you can do with your students for this sort of Santa catching presents game for Christmas.